Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Morning Leap for Monday, July 13th, 2015. My name is Doug McKay. I'm founder and head moderator and trader of Quantum Leap. Our group has been together in one form or another for about 6 years now. We just started the live room back up beginning of this month after taking a hiatus for a while. If you're interested in more information, please contact Doug McKay at the email quantumleaptrading@gmail.com or give me a call at 647-545-8065. Happy to talk to anybody about these markets and trading. Of course, each morning we come together live to take a look at the structure of the market. I take a very basic routine each morning and look at the macro to the micro, examining where we are within the trends, where we are within the structure of the market, and then I drill down to my trade levels and my targets and hypotheses for the day. Before I get going, I do have to get the disclaimer done. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand the knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves risk loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own plan and your own risk parameters. Okay, so last week was our first week in the room. We ended up with 65.5 points. It was a kind of an up and down week. Friday was a really whippy day for me. I dug myself into a hole on my first two trades, and then I eventually dug myself back up, got up to about 6 points with a runner, and then I gave that back and had to work my way out of it. In the end, we just keep swinging the bat, take our turns at trying to find a trade and control our risk. And if you do that, you can recoup and you can pull out a day even when you're struggling. So I'm going to clear this out for now. Start fresh this morning. Of course, I've been doing some trading overnight. I got long last night at 54.75, and I've been building a position ever since with the target going back towards that 93. Let's get the news out of the way first. So I want to do something a little bit different. Today we really don't have any news all day. 12:30, some Japanese, that was AM, so that's over. We've got the Eurogroup meetings, which is all going to be, focused around Greece and the proposal, but nothing scheduled in the U.S. Other than the federal budget balance at 2 p.m. And that's not going to be that big. Let's just take a look at the day from Friday. My main hypothesis, and this is a good example where my main hypothesis was if we didn't find initiative buyers on the open, that we'd likely come in, test inside of the range, and come down into this 61 to 59 area. At which I'd be looking for responsive buyers to step in and take us up through the range and break out of the range and go and hit that target up at 75.50. It did basically what I was expecting it to do, just I didn't trade it very well. But that's a good example of being able to see what the probabilities are and then just having a tough day executing, which happens to every trader. What I want to do today, though, is I was going over this with one of our members, and he was asking me about how I'm breaking my micro composites down. As you know, I've been watching this micro composite that goes from February the 5th, which is a gap up, start of a gap up day down here. You can see there's the gap right here. and it was a gap. I had actually started it here, but when we poked down into the prior value area of the older microcomposite, I moved my start date to include these lows here. But so I've been watching this this level, this microcomposite value area level, which continues to come down. It was up at 61, and it was at 60 and a quarter, then it was at 59 and a quarter. It's now down at 56 and a quarter, and this is because of the volume that we've been having in this area. But I want to show you something, because this is what I was looking at last night and had formed my my trade plan for the evening. First of all, I was looking at the open and the open of the year at 2055 and the open of the month, which is at was at 2054.50. So when we were waiting for the open, I was looking at the depth, and we had a huge spread. There was like a 10-point spread, but they were stacking the orders down near the open, so I joined them and was able to get long just in front of the month open at 54.75. So, and my target last night was 69.50, and you'll be wondering, well, why 69.50? Well, the 10-day microcomposite right here happens, to have the microcomposite VPOC down here at 2057.50. The 10-day value area high is up at 69.50. That wouldn't just solely give me reason to be looking for that. So what I start doing is I want to know, okay, I know where the balance is. I know where the value is within this 10 days. Now I want to break it down to where they might be advertising to buyers and sellers. So the first thing I look at is I got to look at, okay, where did the buyers step in? So I'll start with, the day that's got the low range, and you can see this day right here was 43, but we traded down here for 2 days. So I want to see what was the most accepted price for the 2 days. And you can see that in the 2 days after falling out of this balance up here, we came down and the buyers stepped in around that 39 and a quarter. And then we were down here for a third day, so I want to bring this volume in as well. And you can see that got to bring this one in and bring this one over. Sorry. You can see that the most traded price shifted up to 49. So at the time we were we were closed and we had a gap of about 10 points. So I was looking at this 49 as a possibility of where we would have to come down if we couldn't hold above the CLVN at 53 and we stay below 56. But we know balance is at 57.50. Where would they likely be going to advertise to? So I'll look at where we found balance above, or where we tried to hold value above. So I'll go, and you can see these 2 days right here, we were trying to hold value. Okay, and if I bring that forward, you can see that it's right at the value area high of the microcomposite at 69. And then I want to see, okay, we had another day imbalance here. Does that change it? No, it doesn't change it. Okay, what happens if I bring this day in as well? No, it doesn't change it. What if I bring this day in as well? No, so 69.50. So now I've got my microcomposite broken down into 3 separate areas: the whole, with value at balance at 57.50, with value high at 69.50, and value below at 47.50. Below, I know that the buyers stepped in, and I can take a look at this in 2 different levels. I can look at that 39.50 level and the 49 level. So those 2 levels are my lower levels below that balance. And then above there, okay, I'm looking at the 69.50, and I was telling Marvin, I said, if we come up into the 69.50 and we accept that value, then we're likely to come up and go and hit that target that I've been waiting to hit up at 75.50. We didn't hit it on on Friday. We missed it by a point. And then if we break out of there, then we're above range and above value. Then we can look for a move up to test the range high and the CLVN all in around the 82.75 to 83.25 area, with the main target above still up at 93.75 with 87.50 being the first target above that 83. And we went up to 87.50, and that was our Globex high. So that's the way I'm looking at it when I'm breaking these micro composites down. I want to know where the overall value and balance is, but I want to break it down to see where they are trying to hold value within it and where they found value within it. And I hope that explains it. So we kind of got veered off of our normal homework session, but when these things come up, it's good to just go through and review them. So currently right now we're trading 82. Balance in this area is the CHVN at 81.25. First resistance going to be this 82, 83 area. A break above that, look for a move to take out the overnight high. Remember the half gap fill is at 85.50. Our June FOMC is at 84.25, so there are some targets above us right now. And then if we can get above this 89.50, I'm looking for a move back into the most traded price going back to February 5th, which is up here at 93.75, with that gap fill just above at 96. That's the gap that we fell out of, not last Monday, but the Monday before. And I'm anticipating that we're just going to chop around in this area. My main hypothesis for the day is if we hold outside of the prior day range and we get above 82, I'm looking for a rotational day. We've already had a 35.5 point range in the Globex. The Globex range continues to expand out as this crisis in Europe and Greece affects the markets over in Europe. Our 20-day ATR for the full session is 25.28. So we've already, gone almost 1.5 times the average true range. So I'm looking for more of a rotational day today with an upside bias towards 83 if we can hold above Friday's high. Once we get back into Friday's high, then I'd be looking for a move back down into the 69.50 with possibility of coming down to test this 59 level again. Maybe even 57, but I think we're going to get stuck in this triple distribution zone as we fight to hold the upper part of this microcomposite range. So let's just go back and step back for 1 second, take a look at where we are in the trend. Usually I do this first, but I had some stuff I wanted to do. I look at the trend using a 9 EMA and a 20 SMA, and I'm basically looking for slope and separation. You can see on the monthly, we very much have the trend intact. We have not violated with a close below the 9 EMA in quite some time, a couple of years. All right, and then going down to the weekly, you see that we had this this gap 2 weeks ago. We've been below the 9 and the 20. We're coming up and testing the 9 from below and challenging getting back above those, but we do not have any specific trend on the weekly. We're more in consolidation. On the daily, we had that gap down, and then we've got consolidation, and we've been trying to get back above the 9 and the 20, and right now we're trading just above the 20 SMA on the daily, which is sitting at 20.80.50. We do have that naked cross on the daily still at 20.98.25. Although we do have this head and shoulders that we never hit the measured move down at 2019. So this is still a valid pattern. Just because we're coming up and challenging the neckline again doesn't necessarily mean that we can't fail and come back down. So just be aware of that, with this news with Greece, we might get a pop and then a drop We don't know that, but we have to prepare ourselves. But overall, the daily trend is down, but it is being tested to the upside so far today. Going to the intraday to see if we have any trends coming into the RTH session. You can see that on the 4-hour, we've started a trend up. We do have a possible tech gap, Mr. Sneaky, possibly even a FUBAR on the 4-hour, and a move back to close the tech gap would probably bring us in, I would say, in around the 75.50 area again. But there is a bit of a trend starting on the 4-hour. On the 30-minute, you can see that that trend is much stronger looking. We had the gap down. They came up. We had created this naked cross on the gap down at 68.5. They took that out. You can see we also took out this naked cross from the Globex on Friday by coming down into hitting that 2052. We created a tech gap, closed out the tech gap, and we're currently holding the 9 and the 20, and the trend is very strong on the 30-minute. On the 5-minute, you can see that we do have consolidation here, and no real trend on the 5 minutes. Kind of a mixed bag. We do have a naked cross down here at the 2065. So if we get back into range, this is going to be one of my targets below. So keep an eye on that if we test the prior day range. So let's go take a look at, we've already taken a look at the big picture structure. Let's go drill down to the Globex and start putting our Globex. As I mentioned, we've got a 35.5 point Globex. Our Globex low is all the way down at 52. And our Globex high is 87.50. And currently our VPOC keeps shifting on me. 2083. So as it stands right now, we are going to have a open auction out of range. If we've got almost 8 points that we have to stay above to stay out of the prior day range. So I'll be watching for initiative buyers right out of the gate here and a move up. If we can break above the 2082.75 area and hold. What was it? It's the CLVN at it's at 82.50. 82.50, and we have LVN zipper here from 80.50 to 79.25, and you can see that 79.75 is the lower side of that balance around 81. So to be safe, I'm going to be using the 79.75 as a trade area. I'm not going to use the 82 because to me there's going to be a lot of chop here even if there is some initiative buyers. I really have to wait until we get up above that half gap fill at 85.50, and I'm going to use that 85.50 as another trade area. It's a little bit different than I usually use. And I'll be, above there, then I'll be looking for the overnight high to be taken out at 87.50. And then a little bit of possible responsive selling at 89.50. And above there, I'm looking to get, up to our main target. And this is going to be our main target above now. And it's really 93.75, but we've got the naked VPOC at 93.50 I'm going to just change this to 93 1/4 and use that as my target, but we also have the 93.75, 93.75, and then the gap close from the 26th, June 26th, gap close up here at 96. And then above that, we have the 98 1/4 daily naked cross, and then 2100 is the centennial number, and CLVN, and above that we've got 2101.75 area, but because we got the naked VPOC, you could use the naked VPOC, but I'm going to front run it and go 2101.75. All right, and then the value area high, I mean, we have to start talking about the 2100s again. The value area high is up here at 2105.75. So that's my key line in the sand for higher prices now. And then above that, I'm looking at the 2111, I should say. 2114 1/4, and then 18 1/4, and then of course we've got the all-time highs, the Globex high at in the September contract at 26 1/4, in the RTH 2450. And then above that, we've got the June all-time highs at 2132.25 and 2134. You know that those are going to be equalized at some point in time. I'm not sure if it'll be this month or next, but they're not going to hold. All right, so we've got our targets to the upside, to the downside. Below the 79, 75, I've got the 75.50, which has been our target to the upside. Now it's going to be our target to the downside, but I've also got 74.75 as the range high. So I'm going to actually extend this to go over both of them, because I want to be below 74.75 to get short. I want to be above 75.50 to get long if they reject this. But I think if they come down into the 74.75, they'll break inside, and very much like Friday, they'll come down, test this value area high at 72, and possibly dip into the 69.50. We've got the naked close at 69. We get naked VPOC at 69.50. We've got the 10-day microcomposite value area high at 69.50. There's a major target down here if we get into range. So if we get into range, I'm looking for a high probability move to 72, but I'm really thinking of the 69.50. And then the value area low is down here at 66, the CHVN. And then below that, we've got the month open and the year open. I'll use 20, I'm sorry. Month open's 54. I'm in the 60s. In the 66, what did I have for, let me just bring up my notes. I had 60.75, which is Friday's value area low. It's not Friday's value area low. I gotta fix that. Friday's value area low is 66. What was I looking at? All right, sorry, I've made a mistake on the sheet, so I gotta fix that. 66 was Friday's value area low, And then below that, I'll be using the, really nothing in there. I'm going to use the IB low then. And then the next target will be that 59, that 59.75 and 59.50, the CLVN and the Friday range low. I don't know how I got that wrong. I probably did do a data download. And then if we break below that 59.75, it's going to be all about the 10-day microcomposite VPOC at 57.50 with the year open and the month open at 54, 50, and 55. And then below that, we've got our overnight low at 52 and the FOMC at 51 with 49 and below 49, 45, and then all those targets below that we've looked at over the last 10 days. So again, just reviewing, if we if we open up above range and above value, and we find initiative buyers, look for them to come out and fill the half gap and take out the overnight high, and test this 89 level on the open. If we have responsive selling on the open, then look for them to come down, see if they find some responsive buyers here at 79. It's actually going to be initiative still at 79.75. See if they hold there to keep them from going. We should be looking at the half gap fill too. So let me just figure that out right now. So right now we're trading, let's call it 83.50. If we opened here and 69, so our half gap fill is going to be somewhere around 70, 76. So that 75.50 will, be important, and it's, close to the range high as well as a half gap fill. And then the key line for me right now this morning will be, do we stay outside of the range? Because if we get inside of the range, then I'm looking for a move back into the 69.50 rotation day with a move down to test the 69.50 level. But if we hold above the range, then I'm looking for them to slowly work their way up towards that 89 and 93 level. Let's take a quick look at gold. Again, we're looking for continued weakness in gold. We're now trading 1151. Value area low on this microcomposite is 52, close to 53. You could probably use this 1150.40 CLVN as a trade level. 1150.30, and if we break below that, a move down, I would be targeting this 48.90, with the big target being down here at 46.90, and then below 44.60, I think gives you a pretty good shot at coming down towards these lower numbers at 1137.90, 1134, with the big one being still down there at 1128. If we hold this 50 and a quarter and bounce from there, then a move to test this 51 to 53 area. I like the 53 area because the value area low. And then if we can get back above the 54.50, then I'd be looking for a bigger move up to 58, possibly 62. But this is pretty blunt here, and again, I'm looking at weakness in the in gold right now. I'm still expecting some continuation lower. Other than that, I don't really see much in gold. Got to be careful, where you're entering gold and what your targets are, because it's so whippy. Anyway, that is going to complete our morning pre-market session. Well, hold on one second. Let's just take a look at the Keltner while we've got it open here. You can see that the center line is sitting at 83.75. If we get above that, a move up to test the upper Keltner is going to take us to that CLVN at 89.75 and possibly get a Keltner line walk up to 93.75 or a double Renko reversal to bring us back down towards this 84, 83 level. If we hold below the Keltner center line, a test of the Keltner low is going to take us to 78, and by the time we get there, it's likely going to be more like that 75-50 area that we're looking at. So that fits in perfectly. So I'm going to take a break and come back for the open. We've got 15 minutes. We've probably got a VPOC shift on the Globex again, so let me just verify that. Do a download, see if it shifts back up to 83.75. Anyway, that's going to complete our morning pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe. We'll catch